one day, after about 2 years that I met Tico, a person from my city, he knows my parents. He's older than me. He's about my parents' age, or a little younger. Yeah, a bit younger than them. But they know my parents. And for whatever reason, I believe in God. So I believe it was meant to be. I was invited to go to his house by another friend to have dinner. And Tico couldn't go that night. I think he was working. I don't remember.
I think I
Probably
was
you're
working. I
working.
think I was working.
And then I went with this friend to this person's house. And then we're there just having dinner, eating pizza. And then he was out of nowhere started talking about his life story. He's a very successful businessman. He's, financial wise, he's very rich. And then he used to live in my city. He knows my parents. And he was talking about how his wife was so important in his success as financial success, because when they got married, she was pregnant and he had a job, a stable job, let's say a 9 to 5 job. And he was making money enough for them to have a life. And he had another opportunity that could make him rich. But this opportunity was so risky. So he decided, I'll talk to my wife, and whatever she tells me, that's what I'm going to do. If she support me, I'll quit my job and jump in the opportunity. If she says no, I will stay with my job, because then we're secure there. And he was expecting she would say, "You're crazy. I'm pregnant. You want to quit your job for something you don't know if it's going to work?" That was his expectation. But then when he got home and told her about the opportunity, she said, "I'm with you no matter what. Whatever you decide, I will support you." And this changed their life forever. He became really rich. He was able to have a whole different new life after the support of his wife to make the right decision. And then he mentioned to me, "Your husband is so, so, so talented. Why don't you be that person for him and support him? You have nothing to lose. What is the worst that can happen?" That was the question. Like, what is the worst that can happen? And then I was like,
You
yeah,
guys have nothing.
you have no mortgage, you
You're
have no
not
kids, you have nothing. Like, if everything goes wrong, he's still a barber. He can rent a chair in another place and start over. And you can find a job for yourself. And I was like, he
even
has a
go back to
point.
the same shop.
Yeah. You have the clients. Like, what is the worst that could happen? So why not try? And he said, maybe he just need your support. Maybe he just need you to be there for him. And that night I told Tico, you know what?
She came home. She
You
told
know
me.
the dream you have. I'm with you now. We're going to make it happen. And then we start saving money. And we're saving the most we could for about 2 years, right?
Yes.
Until I wasn't ready, but then Tico was ready.
I was ready anytime. We
Tell
didn't
the
have the
story.
enough money actually.
No, let's just start with the fact that, what do you mean we didn't have enough money? We didn't know how much
How
money we
money? Yeah,
needed.
how
There
much we
was
need.
no planning, there was no budgeting, there was no nothing. It was just like, okay, let's save the money. And I was saving. Let's save, let's save, let's save. But we had no plan, no action plan, no budget, no nothing.
Nothing. So we were just like saving the money, and I think it is in God's will. He said, my client, he was my client since he was 15. And one day he became a realtor, and I supported him with positive words because he asked me what was my thought in him become a realtor. Say that's a great opportunity now in being the market for realtors is huge, so you can be rich, you can be very successful. Keep it up doing it. And he did the course, and all these years he started working. And one day, since we were saving the money for the barbershop, actually behind the chair, you have this conversation with your clients. And I mentioned to him, yeah, I do want to open my own shop one day. I'm a barber. Almost every single barber has this dream. I mentioned to him long time ago. And I was having a lunch with you at the restaurant, and he texted me or called me. I don't recall that. I don't remember that, actually. And, "Hey, Tico, I found a place for you. You want to check it out?" I say, "I'm not even looking for," but and he said, I remember you mentioned that this is an opportunity, And he told me where, and I say, oh no, that plaza is very expensive. That plaza is dead. And he said, no, a new owner, he bought the plaza. And he's rich. He owns half of Florida, means he owns a lot of properties. And he bought the plaza. He started rebuilding, renewing the plaza. And he said, this is a great opportunity because this owner, what he does is he buy the plaza and he does all this renovation, he starts to bring new tenants. And I told my wife, and she said, let's take a look. And was the first place we take a look, right? Oh no, before there, I had mentioned to one of really good friend of mine that I want to open a barber shop. And he said he was a
He showed us a couple places.
yeah, he wasn't a beginner realtor too.
Correct.
I wanted to help him. He was going to help me, and he showed me a couple places.
But we didn't like it.
We
right?
didn't like it. He was very discouraging because he didn't have enough experience, and but that's fine. And then Daniel Ribeiro, he showed us
that place.
that place. It was the first one, right, with Daniel? It was the first one. He didn't show us
Actually,
anything.
you didn't give me opportunity. You just said that's the place because I think you
remember.
saw with Daniel before you told me, and then you just came and said that's the place
No, I saw
You did-
through
Yeah.
the window.
through the window. But you're so like that's the place. You didn't give me any option to choose anything. You're just
Actually,
like that's the place.
you hint about it, like meaning, no, let's try to
I
find another.
wasn't ready.
Yeah, we wasn't ready.
I was like, okay, I was not expecting that you come, you found the place, and I have to sign the contract. What are you talking about?
And
I'm
no
not
planning.
ready.
Yeah, we did have no planning.
No, I had no
no
idea
business plan.
How
Nothing.
much money we
will
need to build the
cost.
place, or licenses, or permits, or whatever.
And
I
then
was-
when we start dealing the contract for the place, right? And you're tough always. And Daniel start dealing, making the deal with the
Yes.
owner. And what have you explain better? How was
So-
the deal that day?
That's the thing. I had no experience prior, like renting a commercial place. So I don't remember, but I think Daniel told me you should have a lawyer reviewing all the lease agreement, and the lease had like 60 pages, very complex leasing agreement. And then I think he referred me to this lawyer.
Yeah.
And then we went there, and then he reviewed every little single clause. He read to me, and he explained what it means.
It cost us $900 to $1,000.
I don't remember
I
the
remember
cost.
exactly.
The cost.
Uh-huh.
But it was actually the best investment
Mhm.
because then he highlighted everything that was like, this is not good for you. This is good for your landlord. But if this happened, you know? So he gave me all the instructions, and the negotiations were tough because then I was asking for things that the landlord didn't want to give us. And that plaza was completely abandoned for real. He just bought it. It was empty. It was so dead.
It was only the post office, the La Brasa, and
And the gym.
And the gym.
Correct.
Nobody else.
So it was completely empty. And then your friend told you, Tico, don't rent that place. Like
Not Daniel. Those
you're
are
not
other
gonna
friend.
you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna have
That
walk-ins.
place
This
is
place
dead.
is dead. That place is a terrible location. I think it was God
So-
because we had no experience, but you're so decided that you wanted that place.
It was meant to be, I believe, right?
And after months of negotiation, maybe 5 months or something, we decided to, okay, let's do it. That's the place. The landlord accepted some of our conditions, and one of them was to have a tattoo service there, being able to have a tattoo artist in our space.